What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Comic Book Nerd, where we talk all things major movie, television news. I am your host on the channel, Grant Sullivan, and in today's video, we have some Disney news to go over. Bob Iger specifically talking about some Disney things that have happened in the past and how they're going to improve on their content and making money-wise as well. Just coming directly from Bob Iger himself. We are going to be going over all of the news from Bob Iger earlier this week, where he talked about the writer's strike, Disney Plus content as well. We're going over all of that. But first, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to drop a like and subscribe so you guys don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Let's hop into it right now. So, the headline from Variety states, Marvel diluted audiences' focus and attention by making so many Disney Plus TV shows, says Bob Iger. This article was published by Variety about a couple days ago, yesterday, I think it was, about 7 a.m. or so. So we're going to go ahead and break down this article. They start by saying, Disney CEO Bob Iger is citing the studio's output increase for Disney Plus as one reason for some disappointments as of late. Speaking to CNBC's David Faber at the Sun Valley Conference, Iger admitted that the studio screwed with audiences' expectations by offering up so much streaming content. The negative impact of that has been commercial disappointments in theaters, be it AntMan and the Wasp: Quantumania not even reaching $5 million worldwide, or disappointing openings for summer tentpoles, Elemental and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. There would have been some disappointments. And here is the official statement from Bob Iger on all of this. He says, and I quote, There have been some disappointments. We would like some of our more recent releases to perform better. Iger said, It's reflective, not a problem from a personnel perspective, but I think in our zero zeal to basically grow our content significantly to serve mostly our streaming services offerings, we ended up taxing our people way beyond in terms of their time and their focus, way beyond where they had been. Marvel's a great example of that, Bob Iger added. They had not been in the TV business at any significant level. Not only did they increase their movie output, but they ended up making a number of television series. And frankly, it diluted focus and attention. That is, I think, more of the cause than anything. So, this going on, obviously, speaking of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and Guardians of the Galaxy as well. Quantumania did not do that great in the box office because, obviously, a lot of people were just expecting it to hit Disney Plus soon. That's probably the most reason for that as well. I think they're cutting back on that, and that's why Guardians hasn't hit Disney Plus yet either, because, obviously, that reason right there. The article continues to state, and Bob Iger states, there were 3 Pixar releases in a row that went directly to streaming, in part mostly because of COVID, Iger said. And I think that may have created an expectation in the audience that they're going to eventually be on streaming and probably quickly, and there wasn't an urgency. And I think there was some. I think you'd have to agree that there were some creative misses as well. End quote. So, there you go. Obviously, Bob Iger talking about releases such as Elemental, their earlier Disney Plus shows like Red as well. Turning Red was a good example of that. That hit Disney Plus very, very soon for Pixar as well, and Lightyear obviously as well for that too. But specifically, if we're focusing on Marvel Studios, back in March following the box office flop of Quantumania, Iger touted newness as something the Marvel Cinematic Universe needs in order to re-strengthen its box office appeal. Sequels typically work for us, Iger said at the Morgan Stanley Technology, Media and Telecom Conference. Do you need a third and a fourth, for instance? Or is it time to turn to other characters? There's no way in any brand inherently off in terms of the Marvel brand, Iger added at the time. I think we just have to look at what characters and stories we're mining, and you look at the trajectory of Marvel over the next 5 years, you'll see a lot of newness. We're going to turn back to the Avengers franchise, but with a whole different set of Avengers. So, there you go. Marvel Studios Bob Iger, or Disney's Bob Iger, confirming Marvel Studios is going to be focusing on the Avengers. That's what built up Marvel, was the Avengers team. Starting off from that first one in 2012 all the way to 2017. I think that's why Guardians also did so well. A lot of people were expecting the Guardians of the Galaxy to join the Avengers, in which they did at Infinity War and Endgame. You can have a couple of those different side character movies like Shang-Chi, for example. You can have that, but keep your main focus on the Avengers team. I think that's what Bob Iger is trying to say here, is that they are going to keep continuing to focus on the Avengers. Obviously, we know that the Kang Dynasty is coming out, but that's still a few years away, which means that is almost a decade before we get an Avengers Endgame from our last Avengers movie to the next one as well. And then you have Secret Wars, which actually comes out like a year later. So, therefore, I think Marvel is trying to change up what they're doing and spread out the release patterns as well. Not give us so much Disney Plus content. Again, they almost canceled the Echo show. If you guys did not hear about that, they almost canceled the Echo show because of how bad it was being received at test screenings and stuff like that too. Therefore, Marvel Studios going to make some changes coming really soon. I believe that Marvel Studios is going to be giving us 3 movies a year and maybe a couple Disney Plus shows a year. That's still a lot of content from Marvel Studios. Granted, next year, yes, we do have 4 movies coming out, and as we know, in these past couple of years or so, Marvel Studios typically does not follow up with that. We usually get 3 movies a year. That's why I think next year we're going to be getting Deadpool 3, Captain America. Hopefully Thunderbolts, maybe just those 2 movies, and then spread them out, delay Captain America, and then give us a couple Disney Plus shows next year like Agatha. We know Agatha's done, but Agatha, again, does not really need a show as well. That's probably the main point that they are trying to say, is that some of these characters do not need Marvel Disney Plus shows. They can be their own thing, but they can be introduced with things like we saw with Wanda in her show as well. No cameos there, but I think that this is a good idea for Bob Iger to do. Cut back on Disney Plus content and cut back on all the other content. Yes, it's taking away from that fandom who really likes Marvel content, but it is giving them more opportunities for them to grow their characters and their storylines, which is what we want. We want good characters with good storylines all in all in that as well. But that is going to be all for today's video. Let me know what you guys think of the video in the comments down below. Are you happy with this decision by Bob Iger? Do you think it's going to work for Marvel Studios? If you don't, let me know why down in the comments below, and how excited you are for the future of Marvel Studios. Let me know all of that in the comments down below. Again, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.